Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We got some news from Belarus, and that has to do with Poland, and that's not a very good piece of news that I got here, because things might expand, if you know what I mean. This article comes from Ukrainska Pravda from July 7, 2022, and it says that Belarus is already directly threatening to attack Poland in the event of Western provocations. Now, Belarus is already directly threatening to attack Poland in the event of Western provocations. Okay, let's define what the provocation is, okay? If you look like that, is it a provocation? Or if you smack me, only it's a provocation. Or if you spit at me, which one is it? So, Deputy Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Belarus, Major General Ruslan Kosygin, said that in the event of, and quoting, Western provocations, Belarusian forces will strike primarily on the infrastructure of Poland. What does that tell you? I think it tells me that this guy has a little, is going to be used as a little proxy. I'm just, why would you hit Poland? What, let's say, is Germany who's provoking Belarus. Why do you hit Poland? Tell you why, because Poland was so instrumental in the transport of war materials, weapons, and all that. Goes through Poland, and because I think Poland had a big mouth. I think that's the main reason. And then they said the second one is the one I just mentioned. So this is reported by European Pravda with a link to BelTA. The territory, I'm quoting, the territory of Poland, as well as the Baltic states, is running into a testing round where the United States plans to unleash another bloody conflict in Europe against the Russian Federation and its allies, Kosygin said. He pointed to the holding of military exercises as well as, and I'm quoting, attempts by individual Polish politicians to initiate the return of the so-called native Polish lands, which mean the western regions of Ukraine and Belarus. Well, I heard that native Polish lands, it's a little bit, I don't know, if you look at it, I stated many times that in Europe, really nobody likes anybody. They're like in, I owe you this, you owe me this, I never owed you anything, things like this. That territory is mine. No, that territory used to be mine. So it's like this. So the deputy chief of the general staff of the, I'm pretty sure Belarus has some territorial demands or, from everybody around them, like any other country, because, the territories were like this all the time, the borders over there at least. So at one point, some lands next to the borders of European countries belong to the other side, and so on. I mean, look at Germany and France. That's another one that you can look at it. Look at Germany and Poland. Look at Germany and well, I don't want to go to Austria because I think Austria should be part of Germany, but it's just a whatever, or not part of Germany. I don't say Austria to be part of Germany. I'm saying they should be unified. But oh well, The deputy chief of the general staff of the Belarusian armed forces called all this preparation for conducting military operation eastwards against the background of the degradation of Western European countries and the actual loss of their independence and decision making. All right, let's see here. Preparation for conducting military operations eastwards against the background of the degradation of Western European, well, I can see that to a certain extent, countries and the actual loss of their independence. I see that in decision making. I see that United States makes decide what the Europeans do and they don't. More or less France, but France is like the kid that doesn't want to go to watch that movie, but he has to. He's following the team, the family, but he doesn't want to watch that movie. Everybody else is kind of like, but we're used to this, So, and I'm quoting again, at the same time, and this should be understood first of all by the Polish leadership, in the event of a conflict, the territory of Poland, with its military infrastructure, becomes a priority target of the strike, namely decision-making centers, elements of the control system, points of permanent deployment of the national armed forces, arsenals and bases, as well as critical objects of their economy and transport infrastructure, Kosygin said. He concluded that, and I'm quoting, the West should clearly understand that our response to any armed provocations will definitely be tough and adequate. So we're going to be straight, swift. Earlier, self-proclaimed president of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, said that he does not want to fight against Ukraine. And allegedly, it is Kiev that is interested in Belarus's direct entry into the war. Yeah, I don't know. Lukashenko also accused Ukraine of launching missiles at the territory of Belarus, and he ordered his militaries to take aim at the decision-making centers in the capitals of opponents of Minsk. So, see, bono, who's going to benefit? If, let's say, something happens and Belarus... However, I'm going to be straight. I don't mind the little euphemisms here. Let's say someone attacks Belarus, Belarus decides to attack back, or Belarus decides that someone threatened them and attacks Poland. What would that mean? Poland undoubtedly will react, and I don't know exactly who's, Poland being a NATO member. What do you think will happen then? They will get involved, and then the Russians will have a reason to hit Poland as well, because Belarus is de facto ally of Russia. Now, obviously, Poland is part of NATO, and his buddy is going to come over. So what's going to happen? World War V? Yeah, it seems like. So I hope nothing like this happens in a way that someone perceives an attack, or someone really attacks. But it's subjective. When do you feel like, okay, my safety is threatened? Well, is that a it's really a legitimate, I don't know, reason for you to feel threatened by that? And let's talk about it. And it's not like, okay, I'm just reacting because this, but there are false flag operations. Other people can drag other people into wars. A lot of restraint, personal restraint needs to be exercised. And I don't know the Belarusian war capability, like a war machine, as they say, army and so on. I don't think is very capable. But all I'm thinking is not about Belarus, is about Russia, who will have a reason to really punch someone that they really, really, really probably want to punch. And the other ones want to punch Russia as well, as much as Russia wants to punch them. I'm talking about Poland and Russia, unfortunately, but Poland knows, I hope they know, that one-on-one they will have no chance. But if you look in their history, and just look and see when Poland fought alone against some other countries in a defensive war, because offensive they attack parts of other countries around them when they had the big muscles a little bit, but now it's a little bit different. I hope it doesn't happen and they just take it easy, but it depends what kind of hotheads we have on both sides. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.